before the show, Monica was starting to bring up the idea of early access games. And I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more from her on what she was talking about because we kind of had to get live. So Monica, what do you think about early access games?
Well, the game that we're reviewing this week is early access. And one of the things when we were talking about if we should even review early access games, just because of the kind of threat that they might not make it, or, you know, that process isn't always equal depending on what publishers you're working with and the game titles. So I don't know. I guess I'm just, in general, I was excited about trying the game that we played tonight, but in general, I'm a little over early access. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like I've been burned plenty of times at this point, and the business model may work for the people that are getting the checks, but it's not really working for me anymore as a gamer.
Sure. Josh?
Right. So, I mean, I've definitely felt the burn, and I think early access has a lot of different flavors. I mean, you have some really quality titles that are honestly well beyond what the norm for early access is. And then you have some that are just like that, but they make some really questionable decisions down the road. Like Ark, great on first release, and then let's release a paid expansion pack before our main game is even completed. So there's a lot of different things. The game we're talking about tonight, though, we'll get there when we start talking about that. But it blew my mind in many ways. But we'll get there. But overall, I felt the burn, and I think there's exceptions to be made. So I'll continue to buy, but I take my time and research before I do.
I'm really trying to avoid buying early access at this point. I feel like you know, one of the things that we had talked about when we picked the game for this week was that we used Darkest Dungeon as an example of a game that did it right. They, you know, were pretty much complete, I believe, within a year. They kept everyone informed. They're really, really good with their community. But I feel like that's actually that's not the norm. I feel like the norm is somewhere in between that and a personal experience I had with this game called Stompin Lands, which I don't know if you guys ever played that game.
I've never even heard of it.
Was that the precursor to Ark, pretty much, from another company?
It was by another company. And let me just tell you, I was a god in Stompin Lands. Like, for one, everyone thought I was a dude. I don't remember what my name was in the game. Is probably something like I have a penis, so that's probably why people thought I was a man. But
why would you pick I have a penis as a name?
I don't know. Why do I pick any of the names that I've come up with over the years? But I played Stompin Lands when it was first released, and I loved it. And I convinced my friends to all buy it, and we would play it together. And I was really, really good at the game. And it was weird because I actually ended up getting invited into this group that took the game very seriously. I was in a clan, and they would all be like bitching about their girlfriends and being like, dude, my bitch will not. And I'm like, yeah,
oh my gosh.
Like whatever. And I'm just like, this is awkward. But I felt if they knew I was a girl, they would
hold back
to be the same way, or not, like, or even being upset that I could kick their ass.
Maybe they would give you more loot though.
That's not how that game worked, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it was one of the worst early access experiences you could possibly have had. The guy capitalized. It was Kickstarter. He totally capitalized. He stopped putting out updates, and everyone was just bitching. It just completely wiped out. Came back. Said he put out, as soon as they removed it off of Steam, he put out one update and then disappeared again for another 6 months. We kept making I don't know. I have
vacation. What do you want? It's stressful. But my opinion on the thing is, like, I think it depends on the size of your development team. Like, what if you're a small indie house You want to go in early access because money is like lifeblood in development. You know, like you're just burning money and you need it to keep making the game. And that where I think you get into trouble is I think H1Z1's kind of famous for being in early access forever. And I think they use it as a crush and an excuse to have a very broken, shitty game for a long time. And they just keep saying early access almost as if it's a beta, but people gave you money now. So you have to produce more.
Right.
Well, that is
It's
Daybreak Games.
Yeah.
which real quick, that's one of my biggest horror stories. Daybreak Games, and they were still doing this when they were still Sony Online Entertainment, but they came over and said, we're going to have EverQuest Next. It's going to be a true sandbox, just voxel world. It's going to be crazy. But first, we got to build out the technology. So here's EverQuest Next Landmark. And if you pay $100 or so, you can play this today, and you'll have first row seats for EverQuest Next, and you'll help build the game.
Yes.
Well, I did that shit. I bought it, and guess what? EverQuest Next or Landmark just got shut down. Like they're done. There's no EverQuest Next ever going to happen, and Landmark just got shut down. It's shutting down in like 2 days. So. That wasn't early access on Steam, but they followed the same model. You could get the prepay for, alpha access, and all that did was,
So I won't go there. I have one more quick thing.
Yeah.
I think it was Gloria Victus. I think that was the name of it. The
name's familiar.
It looked cool. Like the videos looked cool. And I decided it wasn't on Steam yet, but I went to their site and I decided that I was going to invest. I couldn't walk anywhere but backwards.
Literally. That's the MMO. That's the MMO, right?
I logged in. Yeah. I logged in 2 weeks later, couldn't walk anywhere but backwards. And it was just like,
what?
No,
What? You fucking decide to play the Michael Jackson class. I don't know what you want. It's like... It's your fault.
I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm trying to stay away from them unless I truly believe in, and trust the group that's creating the game.
Right.
Why did the idea of early access come around? Like, when was the switch that developers like, this is what we're gonna do instead of releasing a product?
I feel like it's related to Kickstarter.
Well, I think the trend kind of started, obviously Kickstarter helped fuel the fire. I think the trend really started when we had a lot of MMOs and other types of games that said, hey, you want to play? You want to play? It's only alpha. We haven't done shit, but you're really excited. You really want to play. You really want to punish yourself with our broken game? Well, sure. Give us $100, $200 and we'll come on in. So what people started doing is, well, let's not go that radical. Let's do a Kickstarter and give some features. And then slowly it trickled down into, hey, you can pay a little bit lower cost, get a really early game, and we'll update it and release and release and release. I think a lot of developers are hitting the thing, though. Like, they get this massive income at first, their overhead, but their overhead just gets huge with all the updates they plan coming out. Like, they're literally scheduling updates as if they were a subscription MMO, when most of these are just one-off payment games. And so then you run into an issue where, oh shit, we're going to have to release an expansion pack. But I think it started with a lot of MMOs and stuff that were like, you can play alpha for only $100.
Okay. Yeah. So no one's a fan.
Part of the team.
How do you think
you matter?
Yeah. You're an investor. You get no money from us. When do you think we're going to move past this idea? Like, how do we get away from early access? Or is it just here to stay and we're done? This is our world now.
I think it's our world until enough games like Stompin Lands comes out. And then you finally get to the point where you're really avoiding them. I mean, there's got to be some point where it's still pretty new. So I feel like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are like me in the sense that they're starting to pay way more attention to where this game's coming from. Or initially,
wake up, sheeple. Wake up.
Yeah. Initially, I would just watch, whatever trailer they had. And if it looked interesting, all right, $20. But that adds up. And
oh, yeah.
I'm, at this point now, I'm over it. So.
Sure.
It's not going anywhere, but I believe people are becoming more and more cautious. And
Right.
and until then, there's still going to be a lot of people who just, aimlessly buy it until like a really big one fails. I just imagine like Star Citizen, they're doing good, but if they fail, that will be like that first nail in that coffin to where like that group of people who typically buy those games just sort of drop it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
We need the Million Gamer March.
Yes.
Right.
Can we just co-opt the Women's March and like, no, this is for early access games?
I mean, if you want to turn that into Occupy, sure.
Yeah. All right.